Hello and welcome to our new lecture of the 17th century poetry. This lecture is going to discuss Paradise Lost by John Milton. Without further ado, let's get started. Milton's Paradise Lost is an epic poem, 353 years old, remains a work of unparalleled imaginative genius that shapes English literature even now. In more than 10,000 lines of blank verse, it tells the story of the war for heaven and of man's expulsion from Eden. Its dozen sections are an ambitious attempt to comprehend the loss of paradise from the perspective of the fallen angel Satan and of man, fallen from grace. Even to readers in a secular age, the poem is a powerful meditation on rebellion, longing, and the desire for redemption. Milton gained a reputation in Europe for his erudition and rhetorical prowess in defense of England's radical new regime. At home, he came to be regarded as a prolific advocate for the Commonwealth cause, but his deteriorating eyesight limited his diplomatic travels. By 1654, Milton was completely blind. For the final 20 years of his life, he would dictate his poetry, letters, and polemical tracts to a series of amanuenses, his daughters, friends, and fellow poets. So on he fares, and to the border comes of Eden, where delicious paradise, now nearer, crowns with her enclosure green, as with a rural mound of champagne head, of a steep wilderness, whose hair sides, with thickets overgrown, grotesque and wild, access denied, and overhead upgrew insuperable height of loftiest shade, cedar and pine and fir and branching palm, a sylvan scene as the ranks ascend, shade above shade and woody theatre of stateless view, yet higher than their tops the verdurous wall of paradise upsprung, which to our general sire gave prospect large, and to his netherern empire neighbouring round, and higher than that wall a circling row of goodliest trees loaden with fairest fruit, blossoms and fruits at once of golden hue appeared, with gay enamelled colours mixed, on which the sun more glad impressed his beams. This piece of the poem describes the coming of Satan to the border of Eden, where he has a nearest prospect of paradise. The poet represents it as situated in a champagne country upon the top of the steep hill, called the Mount of Paradise. The sides of this hill were overgrown with thickest and bushes, so as not to be passable, and overhead above these, on the side of the hill, likewise grow the loftiest trees, and as they ascended in ranks, shades above shades, they formed a kind of natural theatre, the rows of trees rising one above another in the same manner as the branches in the theatre, as places of public shows and spectacles, and yet higher than the highest of these trees grew up the verdurous wall of paradise, a green enclosure like a rural mound, like a bank set with hedge, but this hedge grew not so high up as to hinder Adam's prospect into the neighbouring country below, which is called Empire, as the whole earth was his dominion. But above the hedge of a green wall grew a circle of row of finest trees, and their only entrance into paradise was a gate on the eastern side. إن هذا الجزء من القصيدة ككل يشرح قدوم إبليس إلى جنة عدن أو إلى الجنة، حيث يصف الشاعر شكل الجنة وكيف تشكل الأشجار حائطا منيعا وجدارا عاليا لما تحتويه الجنة من ملذات وجمال الطبيعة التي تحتضن آدم في داخلها. The main theme of this poem is about disobedience of God, عصيانullah. The first words of Paradise Lost state that the poem's main theme will be man's first disobedience, أي أن العبارة الأولى من القصيدة كانت تتمحور حول أول ذنب يرتكبه البشر. Milton narrates the story of Adam and Eve disobedience, explains how and why it happens, and places the story within the larger context of Satan, rebellion, and Jesus' resurrection. Raphael tells Adam about Satan's disobedience in an effort to give him a firm grasp of the threats that Satan and humankind's disobedience possess. In essence, Paradise Lost presents two moral paths that one can take after disobedience. تتمحور القصيدة حول طريقين يسلكها الإنسان أو يسلكها المخلوق تجاه ربه. الأول is the down spiral of increasing sin and degradation represented by Satan, اللي هي التعمق والازدياد بالعصيان والذنوب وتراكم الذنوب مثل ما فعل إبليس. And the road of redemption represented by Adam and Eve وطريق التوبة والرجوع إلى الله التي مثلها آدم وحواء. In the part of the literary devices, the poet uses several images to describe the beauty of Eden and how it shapes a castle-like. Yet at the same time, it's beautiful and bright. Milton used several personifications, such as her enclosure green, whose hairy sides the sun more glad impressed, where he addresses heaven as a woman who dressed in green to show its beauty and softness, and also compares the trees on its sides to the hair of a woman, which goes all the way on its sides to add more beauty and protection to its inhabitant. The third personification took place when the poet said that the sun is gladly impressed, as if the sun is a human being that feels happiness. He used this device in order to give life to his poem and make us feel the surrounding of it, and also to be able to imagine how it looks like. لذلك هو استخدم التشخيص لكي يهب الصور التي وضعها في قصيدته الحياة لكي يشعر بها القارئ ويستطيع أن ينطلق بمخيلته اتجاه تخيل المكان الذي كان يعيش فيه آدم وحواء. This is the end of our lecture and the end of the second course. I wish you all the best in your exams. Goodbye.